Hola, 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 hola. Hello, everybody. Welcome again to this YouTube channel. I am Sebastian Escobar, and today I'm going to share with you the story of this guy that is named Alan Turing. Alan Turing is the one I am choosing for creating this video that is an assignment for El Sena, because I am studying software development, and this guy is one of the most important contributors to the development of the code and the development of the algorithms in the 20th century. So we are going to talk a little bit about this guy, and yeah, I hope you find this presentation interesting. Alan Turing is considered the father of theoretical computer science and also the father of the artificial intelligence. He was born in the United Kingdom in 1912, and since a very young age, he showed a lot of capabilities. He was able to to learn to read by his own, and he was very outstanding in high school and in school and in general in the different fields where he was studying. He was born in the United Kingdom, but he spent some of his years when he was young in India as well, because his family was involved in the administration and in the public administration. And remember that India was under control of the British Empire during the first half of the 20th century. He also lived in the United States. He did his PhD in Princeton University, and he then moved again to the United Kingdom, where he developed almost all his professional career. He was an important contributor in different fields that include, for example, math, computer science, logician. Logician is the field, or logic is the field that studies the development of the code. He also was a cryptanalyst, which is super important if you want to store or to maintain your data safe. If you, for example, perform any transaction using your credit card in a digital platform, you need to encrypt your information. Otherwise, some malicious people could steal that data and start doing stuff like, for example, stealing your money. So this is the field that studies that, and he was a huge contributor there. Also, he was a philosopher, and he was a theoretical biologist. He did some interesting contributions in the field of embryology specifically. So when he began working like professionally, one of the first things that he did was developing a lot of algorithms and contributing to the computation, this thing that a machine does in order to process data that you're giving to it. So with this data and with this knowledge that he was developing, he was able to propose a machine, a theoretical machine that was able to process symbols. The name of this machine was the Turing machine, which was his second contribution chronologically. Also, he was working in the halting problem. The halting problem is when you create code, when you create an algorithm, there is a chance that this algorithm runs forever. Why? Because the algorithm is not going to find like a change in the state of a variable that makes the algorithm to stop. So if that's the case, this means that the algorithm is running forever. So the halting problem tries to solve the question if a machine is able to solve a problem in a finite amount of time. So he was working on that, and that's one of his huge contribution to the technical computing. Now, historically, probably the Enigma machine, the one that appears here in the fourth position, is his most important contribution, because the Enigma project and the Enigma machine was a project they had in the United Kingdom in order to crack the code of the Nazi Germany and the Axis powers. Remember that the Axis powers were Germany, Italy, and also Japan. Thanks to that, he was able to decipher intercepted messages that the Germans were sending, and that were the ones that predicted the points where the submarines were going to attack and also were going to stay hidden from the attack of the Allies. So thanks to that, they managed to destroy a lot of submarines in the Atlantic War, and some analysts say that thanks to him, the World War II lasted 2 years or 4 years more than it would have done if he wouldn't have detected these messages. So this is his contribution to cryptography, the capability of detecting messages that were encrypted, and that makes him one of the persons who saved the largest number of lives in the world. Also, he contributed to theoretical biology. He was working in embryology, as I said, and he was working on chemical biology. By his time, he wasn't aware of the role of the DNA and the dogma and the central dogma of molecular biology in the construction of the phenotype. Anyways, he was working in the field of how the chemistry made the cells interact in order to build a phenotype. A super important field. Now that we saw his major contributions, let's see, or let's talk a little bit about his last days, because those aren't that cool. He had some legal problems with the government of the United Kingdom because he had a male partner. He was prosecuted in 1952 for homosexual acts. And when he went through that, he was given two options. Option one was going to jail, going to prison, and option two was going through chemical castration. Chemical castration consists in the use of a chemical substance that is going to impair the production of testosterone. And by doing that, they impair the regular function of the reproductive system, which affects the erection basically, and that's why these people cannot have sexual or cannot have an erection anymore. And he went through all that. When you think about that, that's just terrible, because this is one of the most important guys for finishing with the World War II, and he was misrespected by his own nation. So that's something that's hard to assimilate. His death arrived pretty late after that event. He died in 1954 from cyanide poisoning. There were like two hypotheses. One of them was saying that he committed suicide, and the other one says that it was an accidental poisoning. Nowadays, the official version, the version that is accepted according to the evidence they showed, is that it was an accidental poisoning. So, however it happened, after suffering the exposition to the society of his time, he died in 1954 by this cause, cyanide poisoning. Now, Alan Turing needs to be acknowledged, not just because of his scientific contributions, but also because his legacy in terms of the human rights and the right to be yourself. He has to be recognized because of his contributions to science, to computer science, to math, to biology, to logic. But also, we have to recognize him because of being a great person that shows that absolutely all of us have the same or more to contribute to the society, and it doesn't matter stuff like, for example, our sexual preferences, the people that we decide to love, or different stuff. I mean, that's something that we have to remember when we think about Alan Turing and his legacy. He received an official apology from Gordon Brown, the Prime Minister from England in 2009, and then in 2013, Queen Elizabeth granted him with a posthumous pardon, and they created the Alan Turing Law. The Alan Turing Law says that they were going to forgive any legal problem that anybody would have had because of this crazy law that said that homosexuality was a crime. So he is one of the most important people we have had in the history of the 20th century and these recent days. He appears in the 20 sterling pounds note in the United Kingdom, and there is a law that is called after him, and we have to acknowledge him as one of the most intelligent people we have had the opportunity to enjoy here in the world. So after sharing this with you, I want to say thank to you for staying here up to the end of this video, and see you soon when we have a next chance for us to discuss something that is interesting. So see you guys, and thanks for your attention.